name's Tracy. I am a clean beauty and skincare blogger, and I also write and blog about sustainable fashion, which is something I am really passionate about. I've been doing it for about 3 years now. My journey into living a sort of more clean lifestyle began in around 2004 when I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. So as a family, we made the decision to try and live a better, more clean lifestyle, and rather than just me depending on medication to try and make my illness better, I wanted to do as much as I could as possible. Also having 2 young children, I wanted to try and make sure that they lived a healthy lifestyle. So it was important to watch what went into their bodies, their diet, and also went on to their skin. And through that we looked at clothing as well, because that just went in hand. You can't have one without the other. And that's really where the journey began. I'm careful and considered. I buy when I need something, and I've always got my capsule wardrobe in mind when I do. I have my own style, which is pretty minimal. I don't follow trends, and I always have the rule, which is attainable, sustainable in mind when I buy something. I think what we need is an independent panel made up of charities, organisations that could create a set standard that brands could adhere to, follow, that maybe have an independent logo, something different, something like an intersystetical logo maybe, that people could look at and know that that was free from greenwashing and that they could trust. Yes, I do. I think there's a massive room for improvement. I think right now it's really unclear for people whether they are buying sustainable, whether they're buying ethical, whether they're buying 2% sustainable, whether they're buying 10% ethical, whether they're buying cruelty free, whether they're buying not cruelty free, whether they're buying cruelty free but it's sold in China. Whether it's so difficult for people. Sometimes it's too difficult that they don't necessarily have the time to find out, and I don't blame people for that. And I think that's why we're here, to give them the information, to help them find that out. But at the same time, it's even difficult sometimes for people like me to figure out what a brand is actually doing, because one minute they're cruelty free and the next minute actually they're not. But sometimes they're so good at actually covering the tracks of what they're doing that it is very difficult to get that information. So I think what we need is a clear definition. We need 2 marks in the beauty industry. We need one that says this is the clear definition of being cruelty free, and you are cruelty free, and it goes through that standard. And we need one definition that says you are not cruelty free, and you have that mark, and that's your clear definition. Because I think if you're a brand and you're happy in this day and age not to be cruelty free and to sell in China, or to still do the things you're doing, then you should be okay with carrying that mark. There shouldn't be an issue. So I think we need those 2 set standards. And I think when it comes to fashion, there should be 2 set standards. You're either ethical or sustainable, or you're not. And again, we should have 2 set standards, and there should be an independent body that does both. And that way we have no kind of mix of greenwashing or any of this sort of muddying the waters. You know, we can have an independent body that does both of these things, and then people can make an independent choice on their own of what they can afford to do at any time. And I think there's a second part to this, is to tax the non-sustainable companies at a higher rate and take what we get from that to reduce the tax for the sustainable, the ethical companies, and hopefully help them grow their businesses and do better, help them perform more and grow. And then hopefully the non-sustainable companies will see this, see that it is better, hopefully, to go down that line, go down that route, and they will become sustainable and more ethical. and the worst performing companies will change their ways. I think it definitely can be if you don't have the right information, but I think again that comes down to us. That's where we come in. I think if you know how to shop, you know where to shop, you have the right information, and we educate you in also knowing that being sustainable isn't just about what you buy or how you buy, it's about how you live your life. And for me, just changing one product a month or every couple of months, or if you start recycling in your household when you didn't recycle, then that's being more sustainable. So for me, that's making a massive change, and it's the small changes that make the biggest impact, and I think that's what people don't realise, and that's what we're looking for. You know, long term, it's what you can commit to long term that's going to make the biggest difference. My first one, my top one, has got to be Spectrum Collections. They are, I suppose they kind of cross into both boundaries really, because they are, first of all, they're a beauty brand, but they also do bags that come with all their brushes, and they've just stepped over into makeup as well. But they are constantly pushing boundaries. They are switching over to everything to be biodegradable, ethical, packaging is recyclable, but they are constantly pushing themselves to do better, to be better. Everything is vegan, cruelty free, and I think for me it's just about the want and the need with them to constantly be better and do better. And for me, a brand that is always pushing themselves is somebody that I want to be associated with, that I want to buy from. And then there's Ren Skincare. Their packaging is just incredible. Their bottles are made from ocean plastic, and their tubes are made from post-consumer recycled plastic. They have a pledge to be zero waste by 2021, and their skincare is just incredible. If you haven't tried it, make sure you do. Their ingredients are just fantastic, and yeah, they really are considered about what they put in their skincare and how they look after your skin, so make sure you check them out. And the next one is Baby Skincare. I've worked with them for quite a long time, and they're an incredible brand. They're really careful about their ingredients. They don't use anything like palm oil or anything like that. They try and source a lot of ingredients local to them as well within the UK, some of which come from a byproduct from the juicing industry, which I think is incredible. 97% of their packaging is recyclable, using grass paper and bioplastic. They're really forward thinking when it comes to what they're doing and how they're creating products. And yeah, I think you should just really check them out. They are definitely one to watch for the future. And the next one is People Tree. They have a massive range of sustainable and ethical clothing. It's like just a marketplace where you can go on and find anything that you want. They even have responsible wool, they have lyocell, they have tencel, they have organic cotton, and they have the Blue Planet collection with BBC Earth. And they were the first place to receive the Fair Trade mark from the World Fair Trade Organization. So yeah, they are definitely another one to check out, because you will find something you want, need and love. Whether you can afford it or not, I don't know, but it's definitely worth having a look. And the next one is Mint Velvet, which is a particular favourite of mine, not just because of the clothing, but because of their standards and their ethics. They're very open about where they source their fabrics, their manufacturing policies, and how their workers should be treated, which is really, really important because you don't find that a lot. Their fabrics are incredible. They are really, really well made. They're made to a really high standard, so they do last very, very well. I wouldn't say they are expensive. I'd say they're sort of mid-range, which is really, really good, because you're paying for what you get. So they are affordable, they're attainable, sustainable, and I think it's definitely worth checking them out. So go and have a look at them, because this is one to watch for the future. Mint velvet. Well, I thought I'd go with Dress to Impress, because obviously budget is no object, because it's on you guys, isn't it? So Dress to Impress, I'm going with Stella McCartney fitted but oversized black tuxedo suit. Thought I would go with my Bare Minerals Slay matte lipstick, Victoria Beckham eye palette in Signature, and her new Cell rejuvenating moisturiser. And that's me, good to go. Dress to Impress. I think I'd have to say always recycle, which I think is really, really important. That's just obviously a habit now. It's been, what, 15, 16 years we've been doing that for. Use as little water as possible, so whether that's showering, washing hands, doing the dishes, always switch the tap off when it's, you're not using it, or you're brushing your teeth. In between brushing your teeth, make sure it's not running, and consume as little as possible when it comes to lighting or gas, or if you don't need to use a tumble dryer, then don't use a tumble dryer, use the airer. Just small things that maybe you wouldn't have thought about, but now we always think about. And I think that's the other thing when it comes to education. Just educate people on the really small things, because that's what makes the difference. And that's made a massive difference to us. I've found loads of really interesting people to connect with. I've found loads of brands to work with, to buy from, definitely buy from. I've just connected with lots of different people on loads of different levels, which has been fascinating for me. It's been really eye-opening. I've learned a lot, definitely, that's for sure. But I think the biggest thing I've learned is how little people actually still know. The lack of information that's out there still for people, and that's a big thing for me. So for me, that's my focus for going forward, is to help educate people in a positive way and to give them the information that they need so that they can move forward. But I think education without suffocation, because I think that's the biggest thing. People feel like they're suffocated when it comes to sustainability or ethical conversations, and I don't want that to be the case anymore. It's got to be positive information going forward, and that's where I want to come in. I would definitely be more committed to my fashion as well as my beauty and my skincare side of things when it came to my blogging. I think I was really scared initially that people were going to judge me or see me as some kind of eco warrior, just kind of coming to kind of get in their face, or to kind of, just, I don't know, push things upon them. But actually, who cares? That's not what I'm here for. And if people want to listen to what I've got to say, then that's great. If they want to get involved, fantastic. If they don't, then they don't have to. I'm not here. I'm just here to educate. As I said, I just want to have a positive conversation with people, and that's it. No more. I would say, and probably going back to the last question, I would say always be you, no matter what, and just let that be the constant in everything you do, and don't waver for anything. Just be you.